The Old Colony YMCA is one of the largest human service providers in southeastern Massachusetts, with programs for all ages and abilities designed to help build healthy minds, bodies, and spirits. We thought that with summer now in full swing, it's a perfect time to get advice from the experts on tips for aquatic safety. Julie spoke with Vice President of Program Development, Serah Selmon, and Associate Executive Director Cristina Wilson about this and other ways the Y is serving our community.
Serah and Cristina, welcome. So good to have you today. Before we delve into all things Y, can we just talk a little bit about how you both came to be where you are right now in the position you are in at the Y? Serah, why don't we start with you?
Absolutely. As a child and in high school and college, I had a passion for athletics and just the lessons you can learn in management and life through a team. So I really started in for-profit sports and athletics, and then in fitness, and worked for some for-profit gyms. I found the Y by accident, and it was the best possible fit for me. I started in fitness, progressed to aquatics and programming, and now I am lucky enough to oversee 2 branches in programming for our association.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Cristina, you are the Associate Executive Director. So how did you get there?
Hi, I actually began my Y journey learning to swim at the Y when I was a child with Old Colony YMCA growing up in Brockton. From there, when I was in college, it was one of my first jobs where I was able to work at a before and after school program as a group leader. And that's where my love for the Y truly began. And seeing all the programs that we do, I have been what they call a Y lifer. So my whole professional career has mainly been with the YMCA. I have worked as a camp counselor, a camp director, a program director, and have worked for Ys throughout the country. So I was able to work in Northern California as well as with the San Diego Association for many years, and came back to Massachusetts to raise my family and was able to get right back in with the YMCA here in Plymouth and oversee daily operations for our local branch as well as our day camp.
Wow, that's wonderful. Good for you, a lifer, a Y lifer. Okay, it is getting into the really hot season, especially today, and people are heading to the beaches and the pools and they're swimming. So the Y has always been known for swimming lessons. You even have a competitive swim team. Can we just give some brief advice to all the people out there watching about a couple things about swimming? A, when should kids first learn how to swim? And who wants to take that one?
I can take that one. I think that everyone's looking for the perfect answer. My recommendation would be that water safety discussion should start as early as possible. So you always want to talk about the fact that you never want to enter a body of water without asking permission and making sure that there's a water watcher or somebody keeping their eye on you at all times. And that's a conversation that you can start through stories to an infant, etc. I think there's a lot of people that believe infants should learn how to swim. And I think that every child is just different and needs to be taught in a way that they're comfortable, and let them know that water can be so much fun, but it's a risk, and that learning to swim is important, but we'll take our time, we'll be patient with them, and we really want to make sure that it's done at each child's pace. So I do really believe that everyone's just a little bit different. If you have a family that's willing to have infants swim, there's a large school of thought that that is a really great idea. I don't know that it's necessary, and people can learn to swim at any age. I will also just say that there's a lot of people that don't know how to swim when they reach teen and adulthood, and they feel like they're alone. And we see a lot of that this season. We're talking to many schools about teenagers that get invited to pool parties or adults that don't feel like they can properly watch their children. So I do need to give the message that if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. We see over 10 people a day at each of our branches that have the exact same thoughts.
As far as the difference between going into a pool, going into a pond or a lake, or going into the ocean, are there different things that you have to warn people about or caution them about when it comes to water safety?
Yeah, I can take that one too. We'll get to.
Yeah.
With a pool, you have known depths, and oftentimes you have lifeguards that have very known zones of protection. And so they know where to scan, they know where the sort of risk areas are, and you generally have a very clear view of the bottom. With a waterfront, there's things like currents and changes of depth that are unpredictable. And so it obviously poses a little bit greater of a risk, and you just really need to be careful because you can't always see the full scope of the bottom area and know exactly where everyone is.
Right, excellent, good point. Let's talk about other things that the Y is involved with, the myriad of things that you do. But first, can we talk about this past year? Has been such a challenge to so many families, and I'm sure the Y felt the same challenge. How did you step up in terms of child care and after school care when there was school, and how did that model change for you over this past year? And Cristina, you can probably answer that one.
I can take this one for sure. So the Y really prides itself on being adaptable and being there for what our community needs are. And that's what makes the Y unique. And every Y in every community really tries to bend and flow with what the community needs are. The moment that we shut down as a state, the Y stepped up and said, we need to be there for our families. And we were able to provide emergency childcare for first responders. And that really entered in immediately at almost all of our daycare locations. And we were able to do that not from everywhere from infants all the way up to kids ages 12 and 13, and had staff that, in the craziness of all, like showed up every single day, willing to be a consistent, safe place and safe adults for these kids. And so hard for parents that had never even been to our centers. We weren't allowing parents in, but to have that trust with the Y and know that they could go and be at work and do what they needed to do and have a safe place for their kids was unbelievable. Then with reopening, we were able to reopen our daycares, but with school going back in session, we really needed to look at the new hybrid models and how we were going to serve kids. When you reopen the government, people need to go back to work, and they need a safe place. I keep saying this again, but they need a safe place for their kids to be so that they can go and do the things that they need to do. We were able to offer remote learning and really look at our facility space and here at our day camp at Camp Clark, we opened up our lodge. We were able to work with Plymouth Public Schools. And the next thing I know, I had 60 desks socially distanced, and we turned into virtual classrooms and had staff that were able to sit with the kids and really navigate that whole crazy world of remote learning and be there for the children. So we were able to do that. And we were lucky to be able to open our day camps last summer, very limited capacity. But again, for those people, for those first responders and people that really needed the care, we were an option for them. And as we're seeing now, we have day camp going on right now. And we're almost maxed out every week. We're seeing the need grow. We're seeing that parents and kids are really hungry for that socialization and to get back and being with friends and honestly just being kids. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do this summer, is give them back some sense of normalcy.
I was going to ask you that because I looked at your brochure for the summer camp, and it's pretty amazing. And I mean, you offer busing. I mean, there's so many things that you can offer to parents, because so many parents too have gone back to work and they both work. And where do you go where you can trust your kids to, like you said, kids be kids again and be able to socialize with other kids? Really, really important. So when you said you're maxed out, just about maxed out every week, is that all the camps that the Y has, or is that just in Plymouth?
It's definitely in Plymouth, but we are seeing that we're reaching capacity at almost all our camps. We're seeing higher enrollment numbers this summer than pre-pandemic. Right. And we're also seeing a lot of new families. So new people that are new to the Y, which is great, great for us and great for the kids and families. And we're also seeing people, so we run care anytime school is not in session at all of our camps and all of our Ys. And we're seeing more people versus maybe just coming for 1 or 2 weeks. We're seeing families that are signing up for the whole entire summer.
Yeah, wow.
I was
just going to say, have you had the same problem that so many businesses had with staffing? to be able to handle all this?
Yes.
Same, right,
So
everyone,
hi.
everywhere, right? Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, we are fortunate that because we run programming year round and we run before and after school programs in all of the schools and have great relationships in the community, I think that has helped us. But it is definitely a struggle and something that we're keeping at the forefront to make sure we're retaining good quality staff
Right.
for our kiddos that are coming through the door.
Good for you, and good for all the things you're doing for everybody. And Serah, do you have any last words you want to talk about, or any other programs that you want to talk about? We wouldn't have time to cover all of them, obviously, but what's at the forefront of your mind for right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a whole other part of our business that Christina and I don't work for directly, but I think, we have a whole sort of social services and mental health side to our business and run a clinic. And when you think camps, you don't necessarily know the ins and outs of our partnerships with the Department of Mental Health and our behavioral specialists and things like that. So we just want to make sure, again, kids have been so isolated, and they're coming in and all of a sudden experiencing other kids and these wonderful activities. And we're just trying to put in every support possible to make sure that every kid leaves feeling successful, and not that, they're having behavioral issues, but we want to support them in all aspects of the words. That also includes access to food. So we have a lot of branches that are putting in food access programs. We are offering meals at our camps and anything families need. And what we're seeing, obviously, across communities is that families that have never experienced hardship before or never thought it would happen to them are suddenly coming to us, and we just need to break down all of that stigma and all of those feelings of discomfort that, it has happened to so many people are in
Right.
places they never expected to be right now. And we just want to, again, wrap our arms around them in whatever ways we can, from offering jobs to teenagers and experiences to help prepare them for their, future employment, whether it's with us or in another career. We want to teach them those lessons. We've really got to help those children come into, activities where they can socially interact with one another so that they're better prepared for school. And we address any loss of learning this summer that might have been experienced through the virtual classrooms that were not a great fit for everybody, but were our only option. I could go on for weeks, but we're just so happy to be able to open our doors in whatever way possible. Staffing is a challenge, but people either are or are not cut out for Y work. And the people that we have are those that are just so genuine and are here for a reason and often experience such hardship themselves that they just want to pay it forward and be that person for others that someone was for them. And so that is really special about the Y. And I think that our workforce is incredible, and they are excited to step up and be whatever we need to be.
That's wonderful. And you do such good work. The Y is just known for such good work. I thank you so much, both of you, for being here today, and definitely encourage people to go to the website and just explore, because it's pretty amazing the reach that the Y has in so many directions and for so many people. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful and safe summer.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Julie, Christina, and Serah. To check out the many ways the Y empowers community health and connection, visit oldcolonyymca.org.
If you've enjoyed this video by The Local Scene, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.